Good morning. Our reading today is the story of Tabitha from the book of Acts. This story is the last and most dramatic of Peter's healings. He has been summoned to Joppa, to the house of a woman named Tabitha, who has died after spending her life in service to people in need. Peter raises her from death according to the story. It is difficult for us today to accept that people could be raised from physical death, and for good reason. If it is possible, why have there not been any new ones in the last 2,000 years? And is there really any benefit to our own faith to believe that someone long ago was raised from physical death? Perhaps a better way to interpret this story is to consider what might have been missing in Tabitha's life that caused her to be less than fully alive, that caused her to fall into a kind of sleep state rather than to simply see this as a final death. Many of us know the experience of being so busy, even if it is good work, that we lose sight of why we are doing it in the first place, that we feel less than alive because we are caught up in just keeping up with all the things we feel we need to do. With this in mind, hear how the story of Tabitha and Peter, reading from the book of Acts 9, verses 36 to 41. Now in Joppa, there was a disciple whose name was Tabitha. She was devoted to good works and acts of charity. At that time she became ill and died. When they had washed her, they laid her in a room upstairs. Since Lydia was near Joppa, the disciples who had heard that Peter was there sent 2 men to him with the request, "Please come to us without delay." So Peter got up and went with them, and when they arrived, they took him to the room upstairs. All the widows stood beside him, weeping and showing tunics and other clothing that Tabitha had made while she was with them. Peter put all of them outside, and then knelt down and prayed. He turned to the body and said, "Tabitha, get up." Then she opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He gave her his hand and helped her up. Then, calling the saints and widows, he showed her to be alive. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.
Thanks be to God.